Back in the book segment tonight, an associate professor of history at Kent State University in Ohio, Julio Pico, is under fire for being anti-American. In 2002, Pico called a homicide bomber a martyr. 2003, he was charged with disorderly conduct at an anti-war rally. In 2005, he called President Bush a cocaine cowboy and said, "We need more Ward Churchills," referring to the loopy Colorado professor. And last year, he slammed the USA for just about everything and said, quote, "The ill done to the Muslim nations must be requited," unquote. Joining us now from Denver is Ward Churchill's attorney, David Lane. Before we get to this, Professor Assad, your client, where is he? What's the status there?
The status is it's in the committee looking at the last committee's work to see if the future committees need to take another look at the committee.
Okay,
and he has been relieved of all teaching burdens, and he is drawing his full salary. It's a job I want, you want, and everyone should.
All right, so let me just recap. For 3 years, the University of Colorado has been in committee. We have lots of committees looking at other committees, but he's getting his $100,000. He's not teaching, so he's free to do whatever he wants to do. You're getting your legal fees paid by the university, right?
Well, I only wish. We have litigated that issue. I'm claiming their contract says they have to pay me. They're saying we just won't.
So nobody's paid you yet?
You know, the First Amendment is I have to draw my own satisfaction from protecting your constitutional
I'm just saying
rights,
this might be a karma thing here, Professor. You know what I'm talking about? But all right, now let's get on to, so Churchill still getting $100,000. Colorado got him out of the classroom, but they don't know what to do now. Now, Pico, or Professor Assad, he's got tenure, which means they can't fire him at Kent State. Bomb thrower, doesn't like America, very, very clear. Teaching history. Here's my beef. I'm a big First Amendment guy. I make my living under the protection of the First Amendment. But this guy now in the classroom is bringing in all this baggage, public baggage, and is that fair to the kids?
Depends on what he's teaching. If he's teaching, I don't know what he's teaching. I think he's teaching history. If this is relevant to history,
right?
You know, if it's relevant to history, then absolutely he can bring it into the classroom.
So if he's on record as hating his country and thinking his country's bad and wants the Muslim nations to take revenge, which is what requited means, against the USA, you have no problem with him in there teaching history.
Absolutely not. The First Amendment lives in a very rough neighborhood, as you know, Bill. And if you don't have the gumption to put up with all these differing opinions, there are plenty of countries out there that don't authorize differing opinions.
But here's the thing.
Korea,
the power in a classroom, as you know, is with the professor, because the professor has the power of the grade. So he gets in there. You got the Kent State students in his class. I don't know whether you have to take this man, but let's say you do. A requirement, if you want a history degree, you got to go through him, and that he's in there and he doesn't like his country. And you may disagree and say, I think America's a noble nation, I love my country. And then he has the power to now inflict damage on you. That is going way beyond freedom of speech.
Well, no. I mean, only if he is using his beliefs and is inflicting bad grades on people who deserve good grades.
It's all objective.
The flip side is true, too. Well, that's true of the flip side. If you are an anti-American student and you've got a super patriotic professor, they could do the same thing. You trust professors are going to grade fairly. You trust, I haven't heard that this professor has a problem with giving bad grades to people who disagree with him.
Well, they're nervous about this guy.
That's not on the table.
Once you start to call homicide bombers martyrs, then you get into an area where you can be considered, as Samuel Ariane was in Florida, an enabler. You know, somebody who is treasonous, seditious, and then you, again, are giving these professors power over their students. This makes me nervous. I'll give you the last word.
The marketplace of ideas trusts people. He puts his ideas out there.
Why should we trust a guy who's that irresponsible?
Well, I mean, no, that's what the Constitution does. It says, Americans, you're smart enough to be able to separate good ideas from bad ideas. We're not going to stifle any ideas.
These are kids.
They're not 3-year-olds.
No, they're kids, and this guy has power over them.
Please, these are college kids, and he's not exercising his power in an arbitrary way, according to all accounts. Nobody's saying he's grading people poorly, but he has a right to put his ideas out there. The appropriate response is not to fire him or punish him, but you put your ideas out there to counter him. That's what the marketplace is about.
You may have another client coming up. Well, we appreciate your time.
Give him my number, will you, Bill? Thanks.
And next, we'll wrap things up with an update on those very deadly tornadoes down south.